everyone, Kyle Lewis here from the Worship Keyboard Tutorial YouTube channel. This is a follow-up video about our discussion about what key songs are actually in. And in this video, we're going to talk about minor keys. If a song starts on a minor chord, is it in a minor key? My answer and the reason behind it, coming up. So let's start first of all with what a true minor key is in the classical sense. So in classical music, when a song is in a minor key, it will usually start and end on a minor chord, and will have an overall sense of a minor sound throughout. But there's one more feature that we find in classical songs that are in a minor key. Let's see if you can figure it out. So let me play a famous example for you, For Elise by Beethoven. This song is in A minor, which means there's no sharps and no flats in the key signature. But watch the notes as I'm playing this opening theme. Now, even though there are no sharps or flats in the key signature, we have two accidentals, or we have two sharped notes, the D sharp and the G sharp. This G sharp serves a specific function, and that is to make the 5 chord, which is E, major. We call this a leading tone because that note gives the 5 chord a stronger pull back to the 1 chord. Listen to how this major 5 chord has a stronger pull back to the 1. Now listen to how For Elise sounds without that altered 5 chord. It doesn't have as strong of a pull back to that 1 chord as the major 5 chord did. Now if you take a look through some of your old piano books, you're going to find that songs that are in a minor key predominantly have that 5 chord that has been altered to be major. We even see this altered chord in popular Christmas songs like What Child Is This?, We Three Kings, and God Rest You Merry Gentlemen. Now let's look at some modern worship songs that start on a minor chord. We have Broken Vessels, At the Cross, Love Ran Red, Sea of Victory. So if a song can start on 1 chord like the 4 chord and be in a different key, can a song start on a minor chord and be in a different key, even a major key? My answer is yes, and probably most of the time. So let's go back to the first video. The 4 most prominent chords in worship are the 1, the 4, the 5, and the 6. Now the 6 chord is minor. So let's assume that the minor chord is not the 1 chord, but the 6 chord. And let's take the song At the Cross, Love Ran Red as an example. We have 1 sharp in the song, which means it could be G major or E minor. So let's assume for a minute that this E minor chord is not the 1 chord, but the 6 chord. And if that's the case, what would the 1, the 4, and the 5 chord be? G, C, and D. Do we have those chords in the song? Yes, we predominantly have those 4 chords in the song. Now, one thing I didn't mention in the first video is that those chords could be a slash chord, could be a 2 chord, could even be a sus4 chord, but it doesn't matter. They're basically those 4 chords. So that's the first reason. Second, if you look up a song in Song Select through CCLI, even they label this as a major key. But the third reason is this. In the last video, I mentioned MultiTracks, and I didn't give you a lot of information about that, so I want to go a little bit deeper here. Part of what MultiTracks uses is CoreSound pads. These are commercially manufactured synth pads to be played over your worship songs to give them a little more ethereal sound. These pads are both in major and minor keys. Now, CoreSound pads can be used as standalone pads without going through MultiTracks. You can also find other commercial pads like Worship Tutorial pads, That Worship Sound pads, and Reawaken pads. So now listen to a section of At the Cross using the E minor pad. At the cross, I surrender my life. I'm in awe of you. I'm in awe of you. Where your love ran red and my sin washed white, I owe all to you. I owe all to you, Jesus. Now listen to that same section using the G major pad. At
I surrender my life. I'm in awe of you. I'm in awe of you. Where your love ran red and my sin washed white. I owe all to you. I owe all to you, Jesus.
Now, in my opinion, that G major pad sounds better and has a more homogeneous sound with all of the other chords than the E minor pad does. Well, thanks for watching. Feel free to leave me a comment below and hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, hit that subscribe button. And before you sign off, make sure to check out some of these other videos. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.